Welcome, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. I am stoked and shocked. This is a guitar I actually won. And I haven't won too many guitars in my life. In fact, this might be the only guitar I've ever won. And I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to the folks at Fret Not. That website, that YouTube channel, they are the best. And that's Rob and Colton over at Fret Not. For those of you that aren't familiar with Fret Not, they are a YouTube channel that basically purchases guitars, budget entry-level guitars, and maybe some mid-tier guitars. And they review the guitars, demo the guitars, and then they give them away. So they are actually expanding the guitar community by doing what they're doing, which kind of is unique. I was never aware of any, guitar channel that basically focused on giveaways. So I was shocked when I was notified, actually by a channel member, that I won this guitar. I was unable to actually get into the live broadcast video when they announced this. I was actually in bed at that point, wasn't feeling well. And then I got a notification from one of the channel folks on my channel saying, congratulations. And I was pleasantly surprised with this. So, Colton and Rob, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. And now let's talk about the guitar. So, folks, this is an Eart, as you can see, Tele-style guitar. Now, this company, let's start out with that first, get this out of the way. Very similar to Ivy and Eart, right? Two guitar companies. Well, Ivy is not Ivy. It's IYV, first of all. And a lot of people were originally calling that company Ivy. But they go by the initials IYV, which is short for Inyan Vina. This guitar, I've heard people call it Eart, you name it. I went to them recently just to make sure I wasn't butchering the name, and they claim that I should just pronounce it as letters, E-A-R-T. That's what they'd like to go by. Now, it is short, I found out, for electroacoustic art. That's what the EART, I guess, is shortened for. But they go by the initials EART in any event. So now that I've got that housekeeping out of the way, we can talk about the guitar. First of all, this guitar, the model is TL-380. It is clearly a T-style or Tele-style guitar. However, the twist on this thing is that it doesn't have the conventional appointments of a Telecaster, meaning that it doesn't have the inset single coil pickup in the bridge and the lipstick type, it's not a lipstick pickup, but lipstick type pickup single coil at the neck. This, instead, clearly has two humbuckers on it. The other twist is that it actually has a tremolo bridge on this guitar. It's a Strat-style trem bridge on the guitar. So it has one of those push-in tremolo arms that you can put in here. I don't use tremolo, so I'm not going to demo that. But that's one of the features. It's a 2-point trem system. For those of you that want to know the specs of the bridge, it feels like a very, very sturdy steel bridge. I mean, it doesn't feel like a cheapo bridge. So that's very impressive out of the chute. Has a single volume and a single tone with very, very cool knurled on the side and flat polished controls, as you can see here, with like black arrow points on the controls, which I really like. And it also has this little switch here, which is a coil split. So I will let you hear what all that sounds like in a minute after we're done with the particulars. the guitar, let's look at the headstock. So it's got a Sir-like headstock on this thing. It just says EART on it, standard guitar, EART. It has 2 string trees. You notice on the headstock that there isn't any entry point for adjusting the neck, right? The truss rod adjustment is right here. It's got a wheel truss rod adjustment on this guitar, which is wonderful for easy access. What else do we have to talk about? The tuners. The tuners are really cool. They're Eart, or I see I'm saying Eart. EART tuners, proprietary tuners. I really like that rounded shape on the tuners, the knobs. And they work very well, by the way. They don't have any slippage. They're not loose. They hold tune and lock in very well. So I'm pretty impressed with the tuners on the guitar. And it says here that they are 21-to-1 gear ratio tuners, which are very, very high quality tuners in my opinion. They're not locking tuners, but they're very high quality non-locking tuners. It has a roasted maple neck, matte finish or satin finish in the back of the neck, a great feeling neck, and it really has beautiful figuring here in the wood. And the fretboard is also roasted maple, as is the headstock. 4-screw bolt-on neck, as you can see here. It doesn't have the rounded contour on the neck, although it's very comfortable the way they designed this, the access point. And you see you have the cutout here for high, better access for that, shredding region on the neck. It also has a belly carve, as you can see here. And really, really striking guitar, nice looking guitar. I love this color, which is pearl green. So it is a metallic green. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera, but it has metal flake in it, metallic flake in it. But they call it pearl because I guess it has that, pearl finishing in the green color on the guitar. The guitar comes in a bunch of different colors. So you can get this thing in pearl pink. You can get it in pearl blue. You can get it in gold. You can get it in honeyburst, which is absolutely beautiful. That's the only wood finish that I've seen this guitar in, the honeyburst. Cream white. So you do have, quite a selection of color options for this guitar. 25.5-inch scale. It's got a Fender scale length. The neck profile. Now that's what's kind of different and interesting on this guitar. So the front of the guitar has a compound radius. So here in the cowboy chord section of the guitar, it's a standard Fender-ish 9.5-inch radius. And then as you go down the fretboard into shredland, it becomes a 14-inch radius from the 12th fret on. So that now is a very flat radius designed for folks that want to play lead and shred in that area of the guitar. So the fretboard becomes increasingly flatter as you go into this area here, the shred zone, right? The other interesting thing is that it has a compound neck profile, which is very unusual. So the neck here is rounded, right? In the chord area, it's more of a U shape, I guess, in terms of the carve. And then as you get up the fretboard, it becomes, or actually I have it reversed, I think. It's a C shape around here, and then it becomes a U shape where it flattens out. In any event, you have a compound profile, compound radius. It's very, very interesting and progressive in terms of the design of this neck, which is very highly unusual at this price point. Wheel truss rod I went over before, which is great. You can access and do all your adjustments right here without having to, worry about the access point over here being a little difficult to get to. The nut on the guitar is bone. 2-point trem. What else am I missing? I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Bodywood, mahogany on this guitar. So it's a mahogany guitar. I haven't weighed it yet, but it doesn't feel extremely heavy. I would venture to say the guitar is maybe 7.5 to 8 pounds. That would be my guess. It does have a slight neck dive on the guitar when you're playing it seated, right? If you're not strapped. Let me see what else we're talking about here. Price point. So, this guy goes anywhere, depending on who you purchase this thing from, anywhere from around $300 to the list price, which is $429. So, on the EART website, they have it right now for $300.30, free shipping. If you go to Amazon, I believe and again, Amazon's prices are all over the place, right? Right now, it's $321. If you check eBay, it's all over the place. So this guitar, best price I've seen it is $300 right now, and that's actually on the EART website. Let's see here. Oh, last but the best on the guitar to talk about are the pickups. So these pickups are ceramic pickups. There's a bunch of deep dives on YouTube where they gut these guitars, take them apart, but I've yet to hear anybody really define what these things are. Even Phil McKnight has done a great deep dive on this guitar, but really didn't talk about the pickups in great detail, other than, you know, the output on them and the fact that I think he liked them, as most people do. But these happen to be Artec, ARTEC pickups. The model is HBC 115-BK. The C means that they are ceramic. So these are not Alnico pickups. They're ceramic pickups. Artec, from all of the forums that I've read, are very good, inexpensive pickups, budget pickups. But they are solid pickups. They're made in South Korea. They actually make pickups for GFS, Guitar Fetish, which is known for decent budget pickups to replace in instruments. So that's a little background on the pickups here, ceramic pickups. The other thing that was interesting, and I picked this up from Phil McKnight when he did his deep dive, is that the EART guitars, when he gutted them, had some Epiphone components in the ones that he's tested. One had an output jack, was an Epiphone output jack. Another had another component in it that was marked Epiphone. So I don't know what the relationship is in the factory between EART and Epiphone, but there might be one. They may use some of their parts. I don't know. So that's that. The guitar is a very, very solid option if you're looking for, you know, something that is a little different in the Tele style guitar. I wouldn't say this is, you know, targeting or trying to emulate Fender Teles. It's more of a Charvel San Dimas style guitar, right? With the humbuckers in it and the coil splitting capability. Now, I will let you hear what the guitar sounds like, and then you can make your own opinion on that. And I'll give you my opinion on what my thoughts are playing this thing so far, which I've only had for a short period of time, and letting you know what I think of the pickups, okay? So let's start out with, once again, with clean. And I'll just play, you know, basic chords with the clean tone. This is the neck pickup, neck humbucker. And now, middle position, which is the neck and the bridge. And finally, just the bridge pickup. And now I will let you hear the difference, and you need to hear it on clean, because when there's distortion on it, you really can't tell, with the coil split. Okay, so this is the bridge or the neck pickup without the split, right? Full humbucker mode. And now I have the switch engaged. You can hear that, right? And now the middle pickup similarly. And finally, the bridge, the humbucker. So, to me, it doesn't really give you a pure single tone. It's more of a volume boost, in my opinion. I mean, it increases the volume clearly when the two pickups are engaged together rather than in single mode. But I really don't hear that true single coil sound. It might just be me. You might have a different opinion. But I think the switch acts more as a volume boost than anything else. Now, when I put some distortion on, and I'll play some clean notes as well for you in all positions, in all with the neck, both, and then the bridge. Start out with the neck. So that was with the coil split engaged. Now, we'll go over to some distortion. We'll play some chords for you as well. Here's the neck pickup. Both pickups. And now split. Now, if you notice, when I'm playing these chords with distortion on them, you really can't notice any difference, in my opinion, and it might be my old ears, when the split is engaged and when it's off. So, I think the only way you'll really notice a difference is when you're playing the guitar clean. Now, let's play some individual notes for you with distortion so you can hear. So guys, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. This is the EART TL, let me just lower this. TL-380. My assessment, the pickups, in my opinion, are okay. In terms of Tele-style guitars that I've played so far. To my ears, they sound a little, they favor, put it this way, the mid-range bass spectrum. They don't have a ton of articulation, and I like them a bit brighter. But again, that's personal taste. Other people may love them as is. I know Colton and Rob, when they did their assessment of this guitar and their bake-off between this and the T's Tele, for example, I believe the T's got higher points overall than this guitar. What I'm going to do is give you my take. So on one of my upcoming videos, I will compare this guitar The Firefly guitar that I recently bought, the Prince style guitar, right? That has single coils in it, not humbuckers, but they're Strat style single coils. And then the T's SBH E Series guitar that has a humbucker in the bridge, a rail style humbucker in the bridge, and a single coil at the neck. The same guitar that Rob and Colton compared to this. And give you my take on that, on all three of those Telly style guitars, to let you know what my thoughts are. But the last thing, the guitar from Eart ships in a single box. So the box is behind me. It had the styrofoam around the guitar, and then it's in a styrofoam coffin type of a protective case. It's not a guitar case. It's just a styrofoam mold that the guitar fits in inside that box to protect the guitar. So they do a decent job, at least, of packaging the guitar. The fretwork on the guitar is always excellent with EART. These are ball end frets. They are rounded off and do not extend at all. In fact, they come shy of the end of the fretboard. The fretboard itself almost feels like it is rounded as well as the frets. So this thing doesn't have a sharp fret anywhere on the neck. It's just amazing, and that's what they're known for at EART. The guitar, yeah, solid build quality, looks great. I really like the roasted maple and the finishing on the neck. The neck is comfortable. In my opinion, the weak point on the guitar are the pickups. And again, it just might be me. So that's my story, guys. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you like the video, please subscribe and give me a like. And once again, for the folks over at Fret Not, Rob and Colton, thank you very much for sending me the guitar. Guys, I'm going to put the channel link in this video. If you're not familiar with the channel, Fret Not, please check it out. It's a great channel. You may win something like I did. But if for nothing else, it's educational. They do a great job of reviewing instruments and demoing instruments, and they play a hell of a lot better than I do. Both of them are really accomplished guitar players. So I'd highly recommend you checking that channel out. And again, thank you. And until the next time, guys, be well. See you soon. Take care.